Just for those of you who don't know me, my name is Reshma Hingorane. I am a psychiatrist by training, also an OBGYN. I quit writing medications in 2012 and I only practice holistic wellness in the Washington, D.C. area of USA. So stress management is nothing but prevention. Stress management is about prevention. Think of firefighting. Think of firefighting. If there is a fire, do you start working on the fire brigade and the fire equipment? No, you keep it ready. So stress management is what? It is making your scale strong. So if you've seen a jeweler's scale, it's a very tiny little thing. He'll put a ring there, you know, he'll put a little diamond there. He'll put these very tiny weights on the right side. These are your weights. Your weights have to be big. So what happens? This is a heavyweight scale. Let's talk about the heaviest weight. The heaviest weight scale you will see where trucks are being weighed. Airport, you go to check in, you put your suitcase there. If you put a ring on that weighing scale where you put the suitcase, right? Is it going to move? It won't. If you put a ring even on a vegetable seller scale, it might not move. And that's what happens. A lot of times we see people who are very unruffled. They don't look stressed ever, and we keep wondering, they probably have, life is so kind to them. Everything is going so well for them. I never see them miserable. It's not, life always puts the same loads on everybody's left plate. It is what you do on the right, which is important. It is what you do with the scale, which is important. So stress management, again, 3 points. 1, prevention, make your scale stronger. How does your scale become stronger? Not with stress capsules, not with XYZ, gyan that is coming to us from WhatsApp and Facebook universities. No, your only immune booster is one, and that is a holistic lifestyle. Look after your physical well-being, look after your mental well-being, look after your relationships with nature, with your dog, cat, pet, people. Okay, if everything is balanced, your scale will keep on getting stronger. Smaller things will not even make a difference in your scale. Second preventive measure, coping abilities. Coping abilities are the weights. So what happens? Your scale is very strong. COVID puts 1 quintal weight on your left side. Everybody's scale is now imbalanced. No matter how your scale was, it's imbalanced. So now the weights and the coping abilities, what are those? They are adaptive and they are maladaptive. Adaptive coping abilities will help you solve the problem. Maladaptive coping abilities, I start drinking. If I can't get along with my husband, I'll go have an affair. I'll start taking cannabis. These will help me cope. They will bring the scale down, right? Because I've taken care of the problem. But what is happening? Beware, beware. Maladaptive coping abilities are like magnets. You are not putting them on top of your scale. You are sticking them on the bottom of your plate on the right side. So what is happening? Your scale looks like it's coming down. It's actually going to rebound up because magnets are short term. They are going to fall off. Okay. So prevention, 1, make your scale strong with a holistic lifestyle. Prevention, 2, keep your coping abilities in shape. Adaptive coping abilities. If you catch yourself taking a maladaptive coping strategy, give it up. Give it up. It's only a short-term solution. Number 3. Let me end this with the number 3. So, number 3, you've done this. You've made your scale strong, right? You've got your heavy weights. Still, such a heavy load has come on this side that it's imbalanced. What do you do next? Okay, so I talked about physical well-being, mental well-being, social well-being, where you strengthen your scale. And these are the coping abilities. So they could be adaptive or maladaptive. Again, remember, your coping abilities come from 2 places. They come from your nature, the genes that you inherited, and nurture, the upbringing that, that's how we form our coping abilities. Again, remember, there are a lot of subconscious coping that happens, defense mechanisms that we use, which we are not even aware of. And now I come to stress management, the true serenity principle that I talked about. What happens if the weight exceeds the scale, the strength of the scale. Courage to change the things that I can, the serenity to accept the things that I cannot, and the wisdom to know the difference. So if a problem comes, the first question should be, can I change it? Can I change it? Do not accept things that can be changed. Do not try to change things that can't be changed. Okay? And if you get confused, take somebody's help. Discuss with somebody who you respect. You know, if you're trying to change something and it's not, ask someone else. Maybe, you know, can I change it or shall I just accept it? And vice versa. So I think with that, those few slides, I think let's just unmute ourselves. And is there anything? Say, you're talking about a habit that can't change?
Yes.
Okay. So habits, please remember that there is a huge myth going around the web, 21-day challenges. You know, people are trying to tell you 21 days habits will change. What happens? The truth is this, that habits, to learn something new is easy. To unlearn something is difficult, and then to learn something new is even more difficult. So what happens with habits? There are too many things which have come into play. One, most habits will start with boredom. Most habits will start with boredom. Two, most habits will start because your coping abilities were not excellent to start with. So when do coping abilities shape up? When we are going from adolescence to adult. When we are 12, 13, 14, what happens? Till then, your scale is being managed by your family. Somebody, your caregivers, you know. So some load comes on the left side, your family takes care of it. What is happening? You are looking at the family and learning how to cope. So for example, if my father drinks and my uncle drinks and everybody drinks in my house, so what do I get? One, I get genes. I inherit the nature. Secondly, I've grown up looking at everybody drinking around my house, and I find, oh, everybody comes, you know, they have a drink, 2, 3 more, and that's a nice, good solution. So how am I learning to cope? If I have a problem, probably, you know, I should take a drink or two. Somebody may be going to their guru, you know, if they have a problem, that family always goes to a temple, Gurudwara, you know. So this child is learning, okay, when I have a problem, I have to turn to religion, or I have to turn to XYZ. So that's where our coping abilities are forming. If we are turning to maladaptive habits, so habits are not all bad, right? We all are, habits are the ones that are keeping our discipline. Bad habits came from maladaptive coping strategies. So you will always have to go back and look at it. Is that my drinking, for example? If somebody solves all their problems with drinks, they need to go and ask, is it an adaptive strategy or a non-adaptive strategy? So likewise, Rajiv, when you ask about, so let's go back to your question, that sometimes we fail. When we fail, there are too many factors at play. What I would suggest is, if you fail to change something, do take help from somebody that you trust or you value their judgment. Ask them, you know, I've accepted that I can't change it. Do you think it's true? You know, go to a professional, for example. A lot of times you don't want to change something. The motivation is not strong enough. You give up too soon and say, you know, what can I do? You know, this is part of me. I think I have to live with it. That doesn't happen. So if you fail, and especially with bright people, their prefrontal cortices are so well developed, they will rationalize everything. They will rationalize every behavior and convince themselves that what they're doing is justified. It's always better to seek help. To seek help is a sign of strength. Weak people don't seek strength because they have this false sense of grandiosity. As long as I've been able to convey what is stress, it is not a poison. What is health, physical, mental, social well-being? What is wellness, balance? What is holistic, treating a person as an individual, not as an organ? What is stress management, prevention, make your scale stronger, healthy lifestyle? Prevention number 2, get your coping abilities to be adaptive. And the third, stress management, like I said, if the scale has failed and the left plate has still fallen down, your response then, serenity principle. Change what you can, accept what you can't change. Make sure you're making the right choice between changing and accepting. And in the end, very quickly, some things which I could not share, maybe another time. Yeah, this is very long. So in any pandemic, there are three stakeholders. Okay, there's health sector, there is the non-health sector, and there is just me. You have to focus on where you belong. Information overload. COVID-19 news is viral. Wash your mind 20 seconds before you touch it. Deep breathing. Unchain yourself here and here. Balance is very tricky. Don't make excuses. Holistic is 1 + 1 + 3. Even if you're a heavyweight, you can't take off. You can't take off sometimes if you do not reduce the load with the heaviest of parachutes. It's easier to fly when you make yourself like this. Don't wait for tomorrow, later. Do it now. And this is my offer to all my friends. If you are willing to dare to change, I will take you there. There's no way anybody can't change. You know, it's about doing it right, getting it right. Any last words?
Yeah, so in one of those pictures, you were recommending eating 5 eggs a day, right?
No. So let me talk about exactly what you said. A very important point. There are two truths. There is an absolute truth and there is a perceived truth. And the most important place to remember this is in relationships. I never intended to hurt you. You will hear this in relationships. I never intended to hurt you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I intended to show you balance. What Rajiv understood is important. He took the message home. 5 eggs a day is good, right? I failed in conveying the right message. So please remember, in relationships, next time, tell somebody, I'm sorry you felt hurt. I start with that sentence. Say, I'm sorry you feel hurt. I understand you feel hurt. I didn't intend to do it. This is what I meant. This is one of the single 1-point mantras for relationships. So good, Rajiv. Then.
All right, great session.
Thank you, my son.
Thank you, Reshma.
My son, you know, my son always tells me this.
Love you. It was excellent presentation.
Ritika, my son tells me when we go somewhere, he would say, Mom, we have to leave in 30 minutes. Start saying your bye-byes now. Because in our culture, you know, we will be having a 3-hour meeting, and then when we go to say bye to somebody at the car, there'll be 20 minutes, you know, in the heat.
Another 20.
Inside the AC, everything is comfortable, nothing is happening here. You go out in the heat, everything, you know, wait, there's one more thing. No, my son always says. So I told, you know, today I have just extended too long. We shouldn't have stress management sessions this long, are themselves stressful.
Love the topic, love the presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reshma.
Be well.
Thank you, Rajiv.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Take care.
Take care. You too, all of you.